voting concluded the 8th year for President Obama, entering an era of new possibilities. Bernie Sanders, a presidential candidate, focuses on reducing income inequalities, the wage gap, promoting universal health care, and addressing the 5 racial injustices on minorities: physical, political, legal, economic, and environmental.
There are several basic issues that we're discussing today. And number one is the end of the exploitation of Native American people and the respect of Native American rights, period, end of discussion.
Hillary Clinton, another candidate, withheld her opinion on the controversial Keystone Pipeline, now opposing it. She wants to conserve biodiversity and strongly favors focusing on deporting violent criminals on the path to citizenship. Lastly, Donald Trump wants to cut the EPA, quoting them as a disgrace, while also stating that our country has some bad hombres that he wants to remove. Furthermore, explaining that the concept of global warming has been created by the Chinese in order to make U.S. manufacturing non-competitive. On November 9, 2016, hope for progressives, ethnic minorities, women, and scientists were lost when Trump won the presidency.
We're going to judge people by whether they have Indian blood, whether they're qualified to run a gaming casino or not?
That probably is me, absolutely. Because I'll tell you what, if you look at some of the reservations that you've approved, you, sir, in your great wisdom have approved, I will tell you right now, they don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like to Indians. Now, maybe we say politically correct or not politically correct. They don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians. And a lot.
Thank God that's not the test of whether or not people have rights in this country or not, whether or not they pass your look test.
Mr. Trump, do you know in the history of this country where we've heard this discussion before, they don't look Jewish to me.
Oh, really?
They don't look Indian to me. They don't look Italian to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a test for whether people could go into business or not go into business, whether they could get a bank loan. You're too black, you're not black enough.
I want to have the reservations. Only Indians can have the gaming. So why aren't you approving it for everybody? Why are you being discriminatory? Why is it that the Indians don't pay tax, but everybody else does? I do.
I hope it really gets better. I hope all of this whole 2017 civil rights movement gets a lot more out there, you know.
It will.
Because I feel like our culture is so quiet, you know. Like we've been through so much and it's just still on the back burner. People still, you know, we got the Washington Redskins still. I mean, you should find out, like the word redskin, that's the scalp of a mother or child, you know, that's a racist word. You can't, and we say it. Declaration of Independence has the word savage in there. You know, it's some mean things. I just hope it gets better.
This week.
And the painters just draw pictures of the things that they want.
Better than that. What do we do when our land is under attack? Stand up, fight back. What do we do when our water is under attack? Stand up, fight back. What do we do when our air is under attack? Stand up, fight back. What do we do when our communities are under attack? Stand up, fight back. What do we do when our water is under attack? Stand up, fight back. Stand up, fight back. Stand up, fight back. Stand up, fight back. Make some noise. That is what it is about.
If I didn't own the boots, I wouldn't need feet. I come from the nation of heat. So swift and so vicious are the carnival rides. And the carnival barker yell your name for a bribe.
When you
me as the connection between Indigenous rights and environmental justice.
Because Indigenous peoples, they rely directly on the land and natural resources. So I feel that climate issues, it impacts pollution. It's a direct impact all around for the health and wellness of Indigenous peoples that already have issues with fighting for their own rights and protection of their own land.
I've seen skeleton mothers and hungry folks cross the street from the kitchens that cooked and hurt the most. Sometimes you hear whispers by the dark of the moon that we promised too much and gave it too soon. Even our coughs and our fevers.
You know what sucked is that it took social media. Social media made it big. It wasn't the media itself. Like your news stations, they weren't doing anything. No, they weren't saying anything, and the only time they did say it if it was a negative thing. The media and the news stations they feed on violence. Like just everything has to be violent. And if it's not a violent thing, they're gonna make up something violent. How they tried to say that the protesters were being violent. Nobody was being violent over there. You know what I mean? Nobody was being violent. Drugs and alcohol are not allowed on sacred land. It's not. If people were coming in there and doing they weren't there for that reason. Exactly. You know, we're not. It's a bad omen to us. You can't do that because it's all gonna come back. So we know better than to go and do those.
To many people, marching is something very abstract and something that they don't want to do. They don't want to go out and do that hoorah thing in a large group of people and say the chants and all that. And I can assure you it's a very different feeling being amongst everyone and fighting for one thing, or fighting for one thing encompassing many different things. And so for this case, we were fighting for the truth, and we were fighting for Indigenous people because Indigenous people were leading our march. And this is our time for our generation to stand up for what we believe in. This climate change is going to affect us. It's going to affect our children and children's children. And in part, we don't really do it for us. We do it for them, and we do it for the future. And what's happening right now is completely and utterly wrong. And so the only choice we have is to march. And in the middle of the march, I had this feeling that was it's sort of like an out-of-body experience. I don't really know how to describe it. But it was something that I felt really one with myself, and I felt very one with everyone else. And we moved in one motion together. And it doesn't matter if marching with 200,000 people in Washington D.C. didn't change anything. It didn't hit the news as much as it should have. But it doesn't matter because we were all there for one reason. There's all of us coming together from different places, and we're marching for the same reason. And we're gonna keep doing it. We can't stop. There's no choice.